I think this is a very important time in history that this body has brought the militia to speak here today. I think it's important that we have the opportunity to talk to one another, to air our views, and to get to know one another. And I hope that the individual states of the militias across the country will also do the same thing with the leaders in their states. As I sat here this morning and heard the testimony, and I certainly cannot address each piece individually, the things that I heard, at least a dozen different charges from across the nation of lawlessness, are certainly disturbing not only to me but to most militia members. And we are certainly totally against violence. What I do want people to understand through these hearings today is what is the militia today and who are the people that are involved in the militia. I think what we heard today so far in testimony have been very, very, very extreme elements, and in most cases were individuals that were not directly associated with what we would call the mainstream militia movement today. And that's what I would like to address, is who that mainstream militia is. It is a cross-section of Americans, of every type of occupation that there is, everything from attorneys to doctors, to mechanics, to nurses, to businessmen of all types. They are everyday Americans that are very, very concerned with what's going on in their country. And we applaud that. We are excited that once again in this nation, people are getting involved in their government. We are setting up programs right now to help people start registering to vote and going to the polls and getting involved in the legislation, in the process that we all love. The militias, as many times has been reported in the media, that they hate their government. This is not so. We think that our government, that this body is the finest form of government in the world, and it could not be better. Are there problems in government? Certainly there's problems. You can hardly find an American that doesn't have something to complain about. Your body itself, whether you're Republican or Democrat, is complaining about the other side. That's America. That's good and that's healthy. And we believe in the freedom of speech. We do not believe in hatred. We do not believe in racism. And if you'll look over very, very carefully of all of the things that you've heard me say in the media and some of the others that have said in the media, we have said nothing about hate. We have said nothing about racism. We have not been anti-Semitic. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't fringe elements out there, and I'm not saying that over the last 14 months, when this organization, this group that is growing across the country, has started getting public attention because we have been out in the open, because we have been very public. We have gotten a lot of media. I'm not going to say that others aren't going to try to attach themselves to our coattails and take that ride and try to get their public attention too, but it is wrong. If they use hate, if they use violence, if they do not abide the law, we will be the first to expose them. We will be the first, if they are breaking the law, to turn them over to the law enforcement agencies. In my state, if you'll check the record, you'll find that we have stood behind our law enforcement fully. We have also initiated legislation in our state to support and empower our sheriffs and other law officials. We are law-abiding, God-fearing Americans. And we ask that this Congress will recognize that we represent literally millions of people in this country that are once again getting involved. And the one thing that they see, the one reason that this movement has grown so rapidly over the last 14 months is because the people do see a voice for them in the militia. And we're excited to be that voice, and we want to be an honest voice and an open voice. And there's some fears out there in the country. You've heard about some of the fears this morning. Whether the fear has substance to it or not, it's still a fear, and it needs to be addressed. All fears need to be addressed and expose those fears. If they're real, then let's work on them. If they're not real, then let's expose them for what they are. Thank you.